What up, great people in all the lands? I'm your host, Nicholas Wilcox, with my cousin, partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Johnny Main. Johnny, say what's up to the great people.
What the business is on this hot Northeast
business
Monday here, man. Good gracious, good mug, man. It's hot up this way, man. It's hot, reminded me of back home, bro. Not that bad, but it's hot out there, man. It's gonna be another hot one tomorrow.
Yeah, hot tamale out there.
It's hot. The hat is getting to me. What's up with you, man? How your Monday been?
Hot. Sweating a little bit over here, like dang, like shoot, I got the AC on too. I got a
same, man.
Dang, like just really testing out here this morning. I mean, well, this afternoon, this evening, whatever time zone we're in, whatever. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Show, the Scott Fish Bowl final mock mixtape edition. 4.0. Between me and John and other people that want to get in and get some reps for the Scott Fish Bowl mock drafts. Next week, we got some awesome fantasy football topics to share. This is where probably in the next couple of weeks, me and John will be the best of friends or the bitterest of enemies when they're talking about certain players or ADPs. And certain talk about strategies. And we hope you guys get like the best content as possible. If you guys aren't liking us or subscribing to our channel, please do. If you guys aren't following us on X, please do so as well. When it comes time to, we'll also be on Blue Sky as well, so we'll drop those and probably sometime next week as well.
I'm the same on Blue Sky, brother. Johnny Main 37185.
Let me double check mine. I'll be honest, I gotta double check mine real quick. But if everyone's interested, I'll start putting that out next week. But anyhow, please sub to the channel. Please, like your favorite local homeboys over on the YouTube channel. We really appreciate that. And any questions you guys got or any reactions you guys got to this upcoming mock draft, let us know as well. We're all here for the conversation. We're all here for the fun. As well. If you're on Facebook, the Fantasy Football Show as well on Facebook as well. So show us some love over there as well. Like the page over there as well. For everybody. We appreciate y'all that comes in every single week. Garrett.
It is, baby. It
order is. Of the show.
It is, baby. It is. I'm always going to rep it. I'm always going to rep it, baby. Shout out Humphreys County, baby. Waverly.
Boy, yo. Waverly.
That's it, baby. Always going to rep it.
That's where John repping. But,
yeah.
I would say my area code, but I'm not going to try to curse anybody.
Yeah, I love it.
But without further ado, we're going to get this mock draft up and running because we got some, patient people waiting.
Yeah, yes, they have been very patient today. Thank you for everybody that's joined too.
Right? Seriously. Yeah. No, we really appreciate it. It was definitely a scramble drill, as they call it. It was definitely a scramble drill.
Stressing me out over here, making my hair go gray.
Gonna push this guy to early grave here.
You ain't lying, man. Got the BP's high.
Oh, all man, right. All right. Yeah, we appreciate everybody here, for real. If you guys, hopefully you guys are tuned in as well, so that way you guys can see reference, come back to this thing, whatever. But that being said, we got our boy Colin in the building when we had what was the league we had last year with him?
The league where y'all was playing and I was on the sideline watching because I didn't want to pop my hamstrings. That one. That league.
The draft night out league.
The draft. Okay,
okay. Colin came in. He was a reigning champ. He was like, "Oh, I'm about to take this again." It's like, "Oh no, bro, not this time."
No. That was a good draft, man. That was some style.
It was a good league, man. I'm a little bit upset and finished. When I finished up what I said I wanted to do, but I was that close. I was like 3-4 points off, Anyhow.
Let's get this thing going, man. We can hang that in, man. Yeah. Getting beat by both of us, getting beat by the guy that hadn't set his lineup in 100 years, man.
It's terrible. That's just the worst. You gotta be kidding me. Don't remind me. But at least I got there. But I still hate it. But it is what it is. We're gonna drop the link so everybody. We're also live on Access, obviously, as well. Come on, there we go.
There, John is saying
what
he just covered the Cincy draft for a couple hours on Sunday. Got some good insight on ADP, man. Please, share that with us here, man. We got some people that hasn't drafted yet. We got some people that did just get in. Shout out to Mr. Swanson, who just got his invite today for Scott Fishbowl 15, man. So shout out to him, man. I know he's been waiting patiently. Welcome to the club, brother. Welcome to the club. Let's get this thing going, man. I'm ready to go, bro. Let's get this thing rolling, brother.
Yeah,
let's get it going. Yeah. Let's get it going.
You gotta percolate it a little bit. All right. Yeah. Without further ado, John, get us started, bro.
Yeah, let's do this, man. Let's do this. All right.
Full mock draft. We have third round reversal. We're gonna do 12 rounds, like basically a couple bench spots, starting lineups. It's basically all flex, and then you have your super flex 2 QBs. So it's the roster constructions I've seen all over the place. We've gotten feedback for how certain people are constructing rosters and then ADPs and stuff. Like sometimes ADP matters, but other times it's things will go off the wall, right? Depends on people's preferences. So John's not steering away from not getting. See that.
No, man. No, I'm in the running back market. There's only 3 players that are even in contention for me: Bijan, Saquon, and Jameer. Those are the only 3 guys that I would even think about taking. I'm 100, I'd say 95% Bijan.
Here's a curveball for you. You got the 101 in an actual, one of your home league draft. You still going Bijan if you get the one?
PPR redraft. Yeah, if that was my first, it would depend on my exposure to players. I'm either gonna go Bijan or Chase or even Jefferson. Jefferson is a really great candidate for me for wide receiver 1, just because I think I talked about it last week, man. It's very rarely do players go back-to-back years of being the number 1 overall player.
Very rare.
And in fantasy football. And I think, with Saquon, obviously, there's always the concern about the workload that he had last year, over 400 touches, I believe, last year. And then with Justin Jefferson, 2 years ago, he popped the hamstring, and so that kind of did him in. And then I'm pretty sure the year before that, Jonathan Taylor was a guy, pretty sure, who was in consideration for the 1-1. So, yeah. So yeah, I think like I said, man, it just depends. It just depends. It just depends for me, man. What about you? Who you taking at 1-1?
Well, towards the back end, the 101.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Bijan. I was taking him in some season longs last year to 101. I'm not going to steer off that again. Because it's just more like, hey, like you said, the 101s technically really don't repeat. It's kind of like the Madden curses or whatever. It's not guaranteed to finish how you want to finish in that category. So,
yeah.
Let me make my pick because this is interesting. This is a very interesting mock already.
Yeah, John had just put up punting on quarterbacks, hit the running backs and top tier tight ends really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's I'm with you on that one, John, man. That's kind of where I'm at. I think quarterback is definitely deep in this format. I think it's also deep in redraft as well. And just as we say that, he's just gonna try to get cute out here and see what he can try to pull off.
I only did it because Colin's next. I know he's gonna want Hurts. I know he's gonna want Hurts. That's the only reason why I did it. But look, I don't get a chance to really do QB here, so I might as well just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was between Hurts or Lamb for me because Lamb doesn't usually doesn't really get here like that either. Or Bowers as well, because I don't know about the whole Raider situation yet.
That's funny.
I know Brock Bowers was a phenomenal talent, and he's great for this format. I just, if he falls to the 2-4, then then I'll definitely take him. But then there you go, McBride going 2-1. He was definitely my guy last year. I was taking a lot of him last year too. So remains to be seen like how, every board and every draft, that's what's so awesome about this, because like every room is gonna be so different. Everyone's gonna value different things. But I think what I want to value here really is that if I really feel like the need to like kind of bait and switch somebody, kind of bait and switch my opponents a little bit, kind of do something, zigging and zagging, then yeah. And here's something different. I'll go McCaffrey here at the 2-4. I do think that with McCaffrey, he's someone I'm starting to feel. I don't want to be missing out on McCaffrey. The Niners, there's a lot of things that are going for the Niners way so far on paper that I'm starting to really come around to. I even talked to you about it today, John, when I came to talk about like that passing attack for the Niners. Like McCaffrey is going to be the guy that's going to be, centerpiece of this offense. And with the Niners having the easiest schedule based on last year's numbers on average, I do think it's a great spot to attack. And we all know McCaffrey is that all-purpose back. Is there, the risk that he runs? Of course. But McCaffrey also has the ceiling of being the 101 overall too. So there's a lot to love with McCaffrey there. So then we have Burrow, Puka, Henry, your guy Nico, Ryan Thomas. Now we're on Frick. Well, I'm sure he's gonna grab a running back.
Yeah, if this draft starts off like this for me in Boston, I'll love this right here. I love the Achane pick right here. See what he's doing here with
that's a falling value.
Yeah, the two big play running backs there with the two of those guys. So JT, a guy I've said it before, I'm back in on him this year. To get him as my running back too in this format where if upright, should see 275 plus carries in this offense. So I'm feeling good about where I'm at right now, having two big time bell cow running backs.
Crazy,
and we just had the Travis Hunter pick.
Madness.
It's starting madness. He's starting to creep up Scott Fishbowl boards. But you were talking about Hurts, and I'm using the ADP here from going for two, and Jalen Hurts right now ADP 12.54. He's coming off the board as like the 12th overall player, so not like a crazy reach for you, man, like at all. There, and then CMC is coming in at 15. As far as rank, this is out of 65 drafts they've had here. So he's at 14.91 is his ADP. So not crazy, man. Like not crazy. What are you gonna try to pull out? Okay, here we go. All right, all right.
Makes sense.
So we got a couple of stacks here, I think.
Yeah, I'm not always the stack person, but I think this is warranted. I do think that I'm getting a discount with AJ Brown here because I do think that everyone's like really discounting the Eagles as their justice. They're going to be running the same formula similar to the Packers. Like everyone's going to be assuming that it's going to be Barkley and Jacobs, like kind of like rinse and repeat type of year. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that the Eagles, they were the fewest pass attempts on average from last year. And they were very successful running the football. I just do think when trends year by year are going to always change. And I do think that we need to, whether it be our Scott Fishbowl or our upcoming season-long home league drafts, whatever, best ball, you got to understand that trends are going to obviously change because, you're going to be playing different opponents. And I just think that people aren't giving credit of the going to be, more, throwing the football. Like, it's not going to be where it was. Like, the median outcome for the Eagles offense throwing the football a bit more is going to definitely come up. Like, it can't finish the same way they did last year.
Yeah. Man, I love the way this draft is
Kittle,
shaking out for me. I love it.
Rice, Kyron, Irving, JSN, Brown.
Oh, man. Let's see.
And you got the double.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just do it, man.
Might as well.
Try something else there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can start off my Scott Fishbowl draft with these 4 running backs, somebody might have to tackle me because I'll be so fucking annoying probably throughout the entire draft. I'll be so difficult to deal with. I like this here. Let's see what else we got here. So
what happens, like, it's luck of the draw sometimes too, because like every room can be so totally different.
Right. That's the
Totally
that's the
different.
thing. That's the thing. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
I mean, I don't know
before Garrett Wilson and Mike Evans.
He's one of those players that I'm not certain. You know what I'm saying? On it's like everything should have went right for Marvin Harrison. Everything kind of just went wrong last year. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm just not going so gun-ho on him versus I was last year.
Well,
oh, come on, dude.
Love it, Cook.
Come on, dude.
No, like I think like Marvin Harrison, I think you're right. Nothing went right for him last year. So if nothing went right, like that might be the worst situation we see with him. And one of the things just over the last couple of days, man, I've been doing is I've just been checking a lot of Marvin Harrison Jr. film. And one of the things with him, man, is it's crazy how good he is against press coverage. Like it is insane. And then for him to not be that good when there's not press coverage, I'm not sure if that's a Kyler Murray thing. I'm not sure if that's an Arizona Cardinal thing. But I really think that Marvin Harrison, I think I'd seen today, man, he was maybe like wide receiver 30, like in redraft leagues for ADP or something like that right there.
Yeah.
I think, man, he can definitely get up to that upper tier of wide receiver 2, maybe even potentially 1. Because if you look at that class from last year, man, it's him, it's Neighbors, it's McConkey, it's Brian Thomas Jr. and Rome Odunze, and him and Rome Odunze were the 2 highest drafted players, and they had the two least amount of highest production out of that group. So I think it's interesting to see what happens, man. So all right, so here we go. We got a couple more quarterbacks that went.
Yeah,
Herbert. That's wow. Okay, for the stack.
I feel like so it's funny that's like Tyreek going after Rashee Rice, like that's another value, like in a way to me. Like so, it's like man, Tyreek going after Higgins after Harrison, like I don't know. It's just I know like I have my doubts about Tyreek. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not expecting him to go off a cliff, but it's like I want to take him in a spot where I don't need to rely on him as my wide receiver 1. Like if I'm going at if I was going in a section where like I am now, then I could have taken like Tyreek at the 3rd. Like if I constructed it that way, that's not crazy, but it's also like I would still want to wait till the 4th round for someone like Tyreek. So,
the
Bills are coming together interestingly. You know what I'm saying? How I'm seeing this right now.
Yeah, man, Colin out here just said, going 0 RB out here, man. Give me all the wide receivers, man.
Yeah, that's why I see this.
Give me all the wide receivers. Wow.
He said, give me all the wide receivers. They forgot one, though, honestly. They did forget one.
Yeah, he's still out there, which I probably would have taken him probably ahead of Tyreek, honestly.
Yeah.
So I think like that's definitely there's a group of OGs out there, a group of unks, Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, and Tay Adams. That's so how do you rate all those guys? How do you rate them?
So it's Tyreek. So in a vacuum, it's Tyreek. So you're the 3 those. So Tyreek, Adams, Evans. That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just asking you how you rank them.
It's like razor thin to me.
Yeah,
I would say that I really like Evans still. For his consistency. He may not always have the whole so-called highest ceiling of the group, but he's someone that I know has, after I have a guy like AJ Brown who also is kind of in that same tier, it's like, you ideally would want a guy like Tyreek Hill or somebody else, but you would just want consistent, guys that will give you great volume every week. So it's Evans, Adams, then Tyreek for me. And it's funny that Adams just goes now. Because I think it's
Frank.
I think the volume in terms of what Adams may see with the Rams is just going to be interesting to see. You guys and your running backs.
Yeah. Eat them up, baby. Eat them up. Yeah. Oh man. So now we get to a place now where I'm kind of like, all right. Now I start to look at wide receiver a little bit now.
Do you now?
Or even quarterback. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go QB, man, and get my guy.
Yeah, I know. That's been your guy, Alice. You've been screaming him a lot.
Yeah, this has been my guy all summer, man. I think I like him. Again, man, him. I don't know what it is. Him, Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously Roma Dunze as well. I think all three of those guys from that draft class, I think they have a nice bounce back year. Caleb Williams, that's the thing, man. With Caleb Williams and Harrison Jr., like they weren't that bad. The problem was that people overdrafted them. That was the problem. That was the problem.
Marvin Harrison,
yeah. Like he was the guy. He was being drafted ahead of all the guys that I mentioned earlier. So for me, I think this is. I don't want to say it's an easy pick for me, but I just think like those guys and another guy that I like really well too is a nice bounce back candidate this year, CJ Stroud. I said is what I like him as a nice bounce back candidate this year. So for me, like a lot of those guys, man, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the forgotten man. He really is the forgotten man in that draft class. So I'm really excited to see what he's gonna do this year. And again, man, 8 touchdowns, I think, in around 800 yards, 60 some odd grabs, I believe, last year. I think he can definitely do a little bit more damage, man, for sure. So he's somebody that, like, all of a sudden, man, I've got my eye on and kind of moving up. And yeah, so I got that. And then we got a little run on quarterbacks here. We got Drake May before Brock Purdy and Jordan Love.
I like that. I like that.
Oh man, I love it.
I do too.
Bad time.
Going a little bold here. Speaking of Chicago, right? DeAndre Swift could be someone that's going to be going up rosters, going up ADP, like in the next. I envision it now. Probably the next 3 weeks. So it's going to start. ADP is going to go up.
Yeah, it should.
Damn it,
it should.
Colin,
It should. His ADP should start to go up, and it will. He's one. I think his ADP will start to go up.
Colin got me
with
definitely. Definitely, thought I was going to get J-Mo on the back end. Oh well, it's what it is.
Yeah,
it's what it is. Happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Wow, where they going 6'1" is somewhat of a value based on how people are kind of talking about him.
6'11", yeah, 6'11" for him.
Based on how people are talking about him, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a couple guys, man. Like one of the other reasons why too, man. I'll go back to Caleb Williams, but one of the other guys.
I forgot to read this summer. Oh my gosh, I don't know what he's talking about. You didn't see my trash talk? No, I guess I didn't.
Yeah. They own it. Chat own it. Chat own it.
Oh, you thought you hurt my feelings? Oh, come on, yo.
Chat own it.
Listen, this guy, yo.
Yeah,
this guy, Aaron, yo. Aaron talking mad junk, yo. In the 6th round, you should have drafted a new host or replace that too.
Yeah, I did say it. Yeah.
Yo, that's funny, yo. No, I missed that one. I was looking at the chat, and it was like, Colin also was talking smack too while he was making that pick. So I was like, oh, okay.
Colin, hopefully, man, I'm assuming, man, we'll see you at the expo too, man. I'm assuming, I'm hoping, man.
Yeah. Colin owed me a beer. I mean,
oh man, nothing like going into a draft being the defending champ, man, and everybody targeting you. Nothing like it, man. Oh man. And we got the fantasy pastor on deck, man. I'm digging that. Let's see. What do you got here, man? What do you got? Yeah, it's quiet.
Your guys and one of my guys. That's what I got for you.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it because he's this year's Cortland Sutton, man. I'm telling you. And you just make sure you tell everybody. You just make sure you tell everybody. I got you. Yeah, go ahead. That's all right. You're gonna have to do it at some point in time anyway. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to do it at some point in time. Just go ahead and let it be known that like he is this year's Cortland Sutton. I'm telling you. Take it to the bank. He is this year's Cortland Sutton, man.
Aaron's just saying that I'm awesome, and he can't admit it. You know, he can't admit it through the mouth. But I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. It's all right. You gotta stay humble.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Now we're at a point now, man, where it looks like running back starting to thin out a little bit. And now we're getting into the quarterback, tight end space now. So there's a couple of guys that I'm looking at. Okay, yeah, Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, this is the area now.
Yeah,
this is the area now where you're starting to get some more receivers and stuff.
Yeah, but it's that time.
Oh yeah, all right, Clint. All right, makes sense.
Yeah,
definitely curious to hear your analysis because with Pacheco, for me, like you know, what I'm saying he's overall someone that, you know, I think it's a certain tier of territory for how you feel about running back for some. I think with Pacheco, we know Kansas City's still going to be a balanced offense. We know Pacheco is coming off, you know, his injury, but I think that Pacheco is definitely worth it in a range where, you know, we're talking about, you know, I feel like Pacheco could easily be before the end of the summer, like around the James Conner territory. Like probably got, you know, a guy that goes after, you know, Mixon and stuff like that, and punch into a tier with like Connor and Swift and Pacheco. So if you don't go running back early, Pacheco, Swift, Harvey, Walker, especially. I think Walker is someone that we definitely need to, you know. I'm surprised he went that early because I thought he would go a little bit.
I thought about taking him honestly over Brees. That's who I had queued up.
He's the RB4 right now, bro. I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just like
who?
Oh my god.
Yeah, Kelsey at the 7-1. That was someone I debated about at 7-4, but yeah, Dustin, man.
Let's see.
Judy with the first receiver for Joe. I'm surprised he took him.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he took him. He took your guy Pickens.
Yeah, no, I was like,
your guy Pickens is done. Your guy really is done.
No, right. Like all my guys, like one right after another. And that was kind of like my thing is I know that
what the hell?
Really at some point here.
Game time decision for Expo for Colin? Shame. I mean, unless it's something very, very like, you know, dire, then I understand. But
yeah, let's just not overthink this here at this point. Let's just do it. Call it good. With my quarterback, not overkill it. Yeah,
I'm interested. I'm interested about this Jag situation because I think it's definitely a situation that we need to not only monitor but also take advantage of because I think ETN still has something to prove. And I do think he could definitely, you know, supersede where he's going in drafts right now. I know he fell off a cliff and it just didn't end well for Jacksonville last year. But I think that, you know, Liam coming in, and the whole offense being, you know, predicated on hopefully getting more offensive is going to be more, you know, hopefully a better environment for ETN coming in to the season. What are your thoughts, John, because you picked him?
Yeah, ATN, that like I like him anyway. I liked him last year as well. Obviously, he didn't produce produce the way we had expected him to, because I believe he was running back 6 the previous year, if I'm not mistaken. So I think like this year is a year that, right, you can get him at value no matter what, because there's a lot of smoke around Tootin. There's obviously the other guy that's there in the back, Jamal J Boogie, man. I love this guy. I love you. He blows chunks. Can't wait, man. We're only about 11 weeks away, baby. We're only about 11 weeks away. And the nice part about it is, man, I'm here for all the smoke every Monday, man. I'm here for all the smoke.
Oh man, that's funny, yo.
Yeah, but like I think like right, like if you see even like with Liam Cohen and what he was able to do just with the backfield with Tampa Bay while he was there, Rashad Smith was definitely fantasy relevant. Even though he was not a good runner, he did a lot in the passing game. ATN is he does nice work in the passing game. So I think again, if that offense is going to be successful, they got to have a running back who is going to help them be successful out in space and being able to catch the football and who's explosive. And Travis Etienne is that guy. So if you believe in Liam Cohen, who's resurrected the career of Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Evans, we won't go there with him and Chris Godwin because they've always been who they've been. But just with Baker Mayfield specifically, I think Travis Etienne, if you're getting him in the 7th round, in the 8th round, 9th round, right? Like that's just a good value, man, and that's a good place to roll the dice for me.
Totally. Both this form and any format, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It goes for any format.
Yeah, been snatching them up, man. Been snatching them up in best ball leagues. Oh man.
Oh,
wow.
Let the shit fucking begin.
Wow. Damn.
Going back to Clay, I definitely wanted Ingram was someone I definitely could have picked as well there. But I mean, I don't know how to feel about Denver yet in terms of outside of like Sutton. I don't know how to feel about Denver just yet. I don't have my whole like pulse on it. Like I like Knicks. You know what I'm saying? I don't know though.
What's your reservation with Denver, man?
I think my reservation is that they're going to take a step back. Take a step back in general, like offensively. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be one of those. It's just one of those. How do I put this? It's one of those things that might correct itself a little bit. I'm not saying Denver overachieved last year. I just think that I'm not sure, if they really take that next step level because. I'll put it to you like this. Where do you see Denver finishing overall for the season? Like a rough estimate. I know, but I don't mean to put you on the spot, but as a rough estimate though. Like
I mean, like without looking at their schedule, I'll say they're better than the Raiders. I would
win total. If I were to look at their win total.
I mean, I don't have their schedule in front of me. So it's hard for me to say. I mean, I can pull it up and take a look, obviously.
Yeah, of course you can.
So I don't know. Give me a second here. I mean, like, yeah, but like they got better on defense, right? Like, so they get better on defense, for sure. You have another year of Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton again. Proved to everybody again one of my favorite targets last year, man. In all draft formats was Cortland Sutton. So it looks like they play make sure I don't miss my pick. Looks like they play the NFC West and the AFC South. So actually no.
Right now, 9.5 over under win total right now for Denver, which
over.
is like over.
Over. Yeah. Over. Definitely.
Hmm.
Definitely over. Yeah, man. Dude, defensively, they got so much better. You bring in a play like they really did not have a running game last year, bro. They did not have a running game. Like Jaleel McLaughlin was the guy. And that's scary. That's scary hours right there, man.
That's true.
That's scary hours.
Brendan asking about if Dobbins takes away from Harvey. I think they can both exist. Yeah. I think they play different roles. I don't necessarily see like Harvey can he be like the 3-down guy? It's in the realm of possibility, but it doesn't have to be in this situation. We all know Sean Payton loves to use multiple backs. That goes back on his history for both real life and fantasy. So I think the better question is Dobbins Achilles take away from him. Look, I think that Dobbins actually looked pretty decent for all the slack he's gotten because for a guy that did all this to his body, the ACL, the Achilles, you know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff to his body, it does I agree with Clinton. It makes me a little cautious just based on where he's going in drafts. I thought there was going to be a discount for Harvey. But people are still taking him
come on, dude.
pretty high. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to best ball right now. So it hasn't been like a complete freak out for some people, which is also like, you know, like I'd rather just have the much cheaper guy I can get like 4 rounds later in Dobbins, at least having some, you know, guy that's going to be RB4. He may find himself with some first and second down work, versus taking the guy that's 5th round. You know, he's a rookie. Not to say that that's great for later on in the year, but it's also like, you know, you still want consistent, you know, you still want consistency in terms of like volume and stuff like that. But how do you feel about Harvey, John, overall?
I mean, I think I believe it's with Joe Brady, man. I think you can see like he's always used guys in the passing game. You know, I think Coop, man, was talking about it on one of his pods for 17 years running, man. I think the running backs have averaged like 60 catches or something like that right there. So, you know, to quote Kendrick, somebody got to do it. So I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be him or if it's going to be Dobbins. Dobbins is not, again, he's not terrible in the passing game either. But I do know, obviously, Sean Payton using multiple running backs. I think Dobbins obviously carves out a role for himself as far as an in-between the tackle guy. But like with Harvey, you know, again, there have been so many instances, and probably just because I'm so old and been playing fantasy football for like 25 years, man, where like, you know, we've seen guys in the past come in and be heralded as a, you know, as a fantasy asset. And then them just not being able to come through in that situation, man. I mean, there's a couple of guys I think like probably not to this magnitude with Harvey, but you know, a guy like Ryan Matthews is a name that comes to mind. Very high pick, right. Blast from the past, very high
from
pick.
The past.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, like very high pick for the Chargers. Didn't really do. Yeah, Rashad Penny, he's another one, but Rashad Penny had his moments, but he just physically couldn't hold up. And there's some of those guys that are like that. But like if I have my chance to get Harvey in a running back 3 or a flex situation, I'm gonna take my shot at him for sure, man, because I'm gonna take my shot at my guy Caleb Johnson. I'm gonna take my shots there, man, with him as a running back 3 or something of that nature, because you know, I think we all know, man, all fantasy managers know, like what no, maybe not in this format, Braden. Listen, this format here, I don't gotta take a wide receiver. I'm just taking the guys that, hey, Rashawn Salam, that's even way back, man. That's back with my boy Slash. But yeah, I think I'm okay with RJ Harvey, man. Like, I don't mind him. I'm not gonna overdraft him. I've said this before, and I'll continue to go on record by saying this. Omarion Hampton, I love the guy, I love the talent. But I just don't love where he's going at in drafts. The same thing with Ashton Genty. I just don't love where he's going in drafts. If you're able to get Genty as your running back 2, cool. If you're able to get Hampton as your running back 3, okay, cool. But I'm not subscribing to RB2 right out of the gate. Just not like, and those guys could potentially be league winners, but you know, something you mentioned earlier, man. You in most drafts, man, you got 2 Raiders going inside the top 24.
Yeah.
Ain't
no way both of those worlds could exist. It's either really one or the other for me, and that's why I have a hard time with when it comes to like that. It's like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
What just happened? Like, so
yeah, I'm not even trying to throw shade, man, for sure. But
I'm not either. No,
but like I was gonna say, it reminds me of the Jets last year, man. It reminds me of the Jets where you had, you know, Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, you know, going in the first.
I don't think it's the same thing, because it's the only reason why I say it's not is because before the season started, you thought Rodgers could at least record at least Wilson and Hall together, because those would be the only guys that be playmakers. But then Adam comes in, you know, they trade for Adams, and then everything gets all mixed up.
Yeah. No. So yeah, now we're getting.
I'll just take the volume value here.
Steph. All right.
I don't love it, but
no. I mean, listen,
we're trying to find guys that could be still impactful starters.
Yeah.
Towards the end of your bench, like, you know, that could be like, all right, if I don't start him on an every week basis, like he could still be a guy that, if he falls, you know, he's a guy that in the tier that we're drafting for receivers, like either a rookie that will have to start for later on in the year, or a few running backs that are still on the board that, could have some spot start value, but not necessarily have to start a pinch. So there's a lot of like things to consider towards the bench. You know what I'm saying? So I think Sharp's a good selection for sure. Yeah. I'm such a Kenneth Walker guy.
No, I rock with you.
I did have some hope for Charbonnet. I just hate that he landed in a timeshare, like, or he's on the back end of that. You know what I'm saying? He's not like the focal point.
Oh man, how bad is that when you like love a guy so much and then all of a
same thing about Spears? Like, I love that when it comes to if I need a guy later. You know what I'm saying? Like, for bench purposes, Spears, because something happens to Pollard or whatever, they start going a little bit more that timeshare role. He's still the 1B, but I think that's something that, you're rolling the dice a little bit because it's not as clear. You want to take your shots on that, but you just don't want to take it at a pivotal point in your draft. Yeah. You want to take shots like that. Like, for example, if I didn't believe, like, in Swift as much, I'm like, all right, Roschon Johnson, whatever, very later in the draft later on, right? Because it's like, if something were to happen, or Roschon Johnson shown the talent before, whatever have you, then cool. But that's right. Kyle Pitts already left. There you go, Jack.
Yeah. I had him queued up. You know what it is.
I know you did.
I have him queued up. You know what it is. Listen, when we start to get to the double-digit rounds, man, I'm like, all right, well, hey, shot it looking good over there. You know what I mean? Let's do it. Just finishing out with Burden. Wan'Dale Robinson, that's a nice pick for this format, Dustin, for sure. PPR target monster. There with him. We'll see how that ends up shaking out with the Giants offense. But I was really considering him. There's a couple other guys I was considering here at this spot too, other than Burden, but didn't want to tip my hand all the way for anybody that's in the Boston Scott Fishbowl. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what I'm coming here to do. I'm coming here to take all the running backs. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, y'all know what it is. Running backs. That's right. Yeah. So and we'll get ready to chop this up here, man, and see about these teams here. So I think that's the other thing too, man, that happens. Like when you have a team that hoards one position, especially in this format, man, it tilts the board. And it could either it could go really, really good or really bad. For the guy that tilted the board versus the guy that didn't. And I was kind of thinking about that a little bit earlier. Is like that's why I prefer to be at this point for Scott Fishbowl. I prefer to be at the beginning versus at the end. I tried. I think it was 4 last year. No, 5 maybe 4 or 5.
Oh man, I feel the opposite.
Yeah, see, I tried 5 last year, man, and like all that happened was all the players that I really loved.
You're right in the middle. No,
boom, like went right there.
We talked about this before. It's like I think it's really based on how I see things. It's so on the back end you can control more of the draft, because of the third round reversal. So that's like that's where I'm kind of at, because you can draft. I don't love this draft for me, but don't hate it.
Yeah.
I like the end of the draft this year. But yeah, I mean, I think I like the back end of the draft because there's so many ways you can control the draft. I think that in the beginning, like you can control the draft, but you can't always control what comes back to you because of, you go from 212 and a 312, get the double pick, but then it's like, man, like if you have a smart room, like really like on their P's and Q's, you definitely not gonna get Taylor.
No, I don't.
You're not getting Taylor. You might still get Chase Brown. You might still get Irving. So I would take those guys and probably replace them with Taylor and Brown on your board. And then like, all right, then who else is my left? Whoever else I want, you can still get Hall there. So it's still like, you can still get that 4 RB build. It just depends on the room, like you said. Like it's gonna be, how you want to go.
Yeah, and and the one thing I have learned, like in Scott Fishbowl, is like, number one, don't get too drunk before you start, because that there's that part. Don't get too drunk because there's a lot of good people, a lot of good food, a lot of good drinks, man. A lot of stuff going on, man. And like, me, man, my head's on a swivel. I'm walking around, man, going and checking out all the other boards, man. So I'm like removed from my draft because I'm just like this social butterfly mingling. And
you social butterfly.
I know, right? I know.
Where we got that from?
Yeah, no. I blame Floyd and Judy. But yeah, man, like there's that part of it, but just being fluid too, man. And just I think the biggest thing, like for me, after 2 years in this format, now being in my third, your player, to your point, your player is not coming back.
No,
he's not coming back. So like he's not coming back.
Get your guy.
Yeah. So your guy, like if you have a guy, you better get your guy because he is not coming back at all. Like that is not the time to try to get cute. So for me, I think that's one of the biggest things like I've learned over the last 2 years is while the point format can dictate, it almost teases you to say, all right, like this is the format. So these are the players that you really have to target or players that are in this category. But at the end of the day, it's still fantasy football. And some of these players still put up big time production, like CD Lamb there on the back end with Colin, right? Like CD Lamb is still going to do CD Lamb things. Like there's nuances in this league that give you micros, right? And like the games are going to be tight. They're going to be close. But at the end of the day, man, these players, especially in this format where you don't have to start a certain, like you don't have to start 2 running backs and 3 wide receivers or whatever. Like you really, it can break you, man. And like I'm saying, oh, like yeah, like I'm just gonna just gobble up all the running backs. Well, to your point, man, like if I get in a situation where JT's not there, Achan's not there, Henry's not there, McCaffrey's not there, like. Now, like I'm looking at like a guy probably like I'm looking at like the Nico Collins of the world, or maybe like one of my backdoor hopes is that maybe Amon-Ra is there, or maybe even a Lad McConkey. So like I have like some other options, but like I don't want to break that glass to do that. But like I'm totally prepared this year for for whatever happens. I'll say that I'll probably freaking hate my team probably.
Based on your mock, I love it though. I love what you did because that's something that is very doable. I just think that's overall like I think if you're in a room that's like really not paying attention, like you can take advantage of it big time. But Chase Brown, there's no way Chase Brown should be 312. There's no way. I would take him over. I'd take him over Rice easily, JSN easily, like. Yeah. In that third round, whatever. Even I know it's super tight end,
super duper flex.
Yeah, so there's ways that Chase Brown shouldn't have fell there, but it definitely can happen. It's depending on how people feel about a certain player in the room. So I mean, look, I would say what would you say? But going back to Clint. By the way, Clint, we followed you back on the tube. By the way, and. Yeah, he just do another mock draft to see how running back heavy would go. I love it. And he said last year he scored the most points in the Houston, Scott Fishbowl out there with the least amount of research. No pepper.
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! Oh my god, dude! I was listen. Oh my god, dude! I was so like last year, man. I was so heated, man. I've told you how I am. So like Swanson's at Scott Fish, and he's in the division, and so like the draft is going on, and he's like, oh, this guy right here. I'm like, why are you talking about him? Because like now, like I'm just not gonna draft him because like I don't want that to be the thing. And then like so, unbeknownst to me, I'm like, oh, I didn't even look at the scoring. Stop,
That's
Clint.
funny, yo.
Stop, Clint. Stop.
That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. That's how I met your man Doug Orth after he gave us a ride to Scott Fishbowl, proceeded to bang me at the 101 as I'm at the 14 and just like bro, yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. It's like the 5th or 6th round, and I'm sitting over here trying to figure out like what happened, man. Like what happened. But definitely. Yeah. I was like, okay, all right. I know who Doug Orth is now.
Peace. Man.
Who else you like out here, man? Who else you like?
Team wise, you talking about player wise for value.
Team wise here from this draft.
I think I do like Colin's team. I love how he starts with Lamb, Amon-Ra, Drake London. You know what I'm saying? And he has Wilson, McLaurin. You got my guy JMO, and I do believe in Olave as a post hype sleeper. Where he's going is absolutely crazy work. I understand why, based on all the circumstances considered. But you know what I'm saying? Like I think Olave is he's someone that should be a bit more regarded. Like around the big there's no way. Well, it's only a few picks, but McMillan going before Olave, I guess. But I think that's another team I definitely like. Colin always finds ways to get different and construct things differently. So I do like his roster because he goes QB late, which makes a ton of sense. The only problem is it's like running back. And again, in this format, it doesn't necessarily matter per se.
No.
But instead of going Ingram, I try to see I would probably went let me get a guy that maybe I go maybe Golden or Pearsall, just increase my odds to give me a bona fide, Golden, for instance, would have probably been a better pick over Ingram, only because, tight end premium, you can still kind of catch up in that position later on as well. So, I mean, it's something where little tweaks, little pews overall. But I think who else roster did I like? I mean, look, I think Frick made a nice roster again.
I like it.
You're getting our guy Fields at 5'10". You know what I'm saying? I do like his 4 proven, workhorses. He's still got Judkins on the back end along with a savvy veteran Pollard. Makes a ton of sense. You get Judy, who it's a Cleveland, so I don't know what to expect from Cleveland. But, again, you grab a guy that you want in the 5th round and feels like QB, and then you wait for another starter later. And then there's that. And then with Moody, that's a nice solid pick because not a lot of people are talking about him either. And if we're liking the Atlanta offense as a whole, I think Mooney would be someone that you might want to be because his leagues are still targeting as in this format as well because he's going to go overlooked. So, I mean, I do like that roster as well. Is there another team that, let's talk about Clint's roster. He has, the stack with Chase Brown. He'll have Kittle, Walker, Laporta, Harvey, Waddle, Brian Robinson Jr., Tracy, and then Stroud, and then with Charbonnet and Likely. What I do like about that roster is that, the stack works out well. The tight ends will come together. And I think the running backs aren't so potent by name. But I could easily see a scenario early on in the year where Brian Robinson and Tracy do work. Then you have the back end for Harvey if we project how people are going to project him as being a guy for Denver, then that makes sense in this roster build. I think Waddle as a receiver, I think he's due for a bounce back, but then it's what other receivers do you get after this build too? So that's also going to be something else to, tweak around with. He even said, he was it's not his best roster, but he had some guys that came his way.
I like the FF Genius, man. I like what he's got going on.
Berkeley, Henry, Ladd, Herbert, Stack, Hubbard, Jones, and then Myers, Reed, Kraft, Spears, and Harris.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll say, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, man, I like the Green Bay stack on the back end. I think again, Jordan Love was one of those guys, man. It's Jordan Love is one. Yeah, bro. I don't blame you. But again, man, whenever you get to a point where you can't pass on the value of the player, that's what you do, man. So I like that.
Yeah. We appreciate you. Trust me. No, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
So thanks for subbing to the channel, bro. Definitely appreciate it. We'll fall back. But definitely, we appreciate you. Trust me.
But I do. I like that. I like that roster right there, man. I think if you're picking in the middle, that's got a lot of players that I really like for this format because volume is king. Saquon's going to get his. Obviously, Derrick Henry, Ladd McConkey, man. Geez, dude, target monster, man.
Yeah.
And then Chuba Hubbard, he's the man there. Aaron Jones, I think we all know what the deal is with him, right? You ride him till the wheels fall off for sure. Interesting to see where Jacoby Myers, how he plays in this Vegas offense going into next year. Jaden Reed, like, hey, at 9'7", man, like I've been on record for saying like I'm not like the biggest fan of him, but again,
no, you're not.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
But in this situation, for my money, he got the guy with Tucker Kraft in the Green Bay offense, because I think Tucker Kraft is going to be. I think he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem, especially in this tight end format. The super duper flex, and then like you said, Tajay Spears, and then Trey Harris again, man, just in case if something pops off there with the Chargers. So low key, man. Again, like not. It's not anything that jumps off the screen at you, like in my opinion, after the first two names. But after that, man, the construction of that team is really, really nice, man. So I like that one.
Definitely. I like from a construction standpoint, like Dustin's roster makes sense too. I think that Knicks is 2-1, just a tad early for me, but it's not something I wouldn't replicate. But it's just a problem with getting him, and then you got to wait another round, like. I would probably wait another round because, look, you get Fields falling value. You get other QBs that fall in values. So that's not, it's not something that, again, Knicks is hold pretty high, but at the same time, 211 is a little rich for me. But JSN, Higgins, and Metcalf make a ton of sense from a receiver perspective because they all have decent floors with, week in and week out ceilings. Then you got Hawk, Kelsey, Godwin, Kupp, Pittman, and then Wandale as receivers. Rashad White was his only running back. So I think obviously it's not the sexiest, but you're hoping that getting Kupp, getting Pittman, getting Wandale, all those, getting Godwin later at receivers are all guys that are going to consistently bring, you got the floor. You got floor guys at the top with those next three receivers, and that could have some breakout ceilings. And if there's the next tier of receivers with like anything left of like solid volume or potential ceiling that we've seen from Godwin and Kupp, specifically, and then Pittman sprinkle in, you could have some weeks that are like going to be some nice ceilings, but still having some great floor players.
Yeah, I like it. I like it, man. All right, what else?
We didn't talk about my roster, huh?
Oh, let's get to it. Let's get to it. I was like, dude, I don't know. I felt like I know you were just trying something different out here, man.
I sure was.
Yeah, you were definitely trying something different.
Definitely. Gotta experiment.
Yeah, McCaffrey, if he holds up, like that could be the value of the draft if he holds up. And I think you're spot on with what you said about Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, the Philadelphia Eagles. I think last year the game plan was to keep Jalen Hurts healthy to get to the playoffs, and they did that by riding Saquon. And I think this year, the formula is going to be a little bit different. I think this year it's how do we keep Saquon upright and healthy to get into the playoffs. So I think you're going to see a little bit more from Jalen Hurts. Kyler the compiler. Let's see. You went back to it, man. Like you went.
I sure did.
Yeah, you swore.
No hesitation either.
Yeah,
no hesitation.
You swore him off, and then you went right back to him for sure.
No hesitation. The reason why I'm going back to Kyler at the moment is because I do think that him and Marvin Harrison, Marvin Harrison Jr. does well. Obviously, Kyler's doing well. I just think that, I think in other rooms you'll see Murray go later. But I want to grab my guy Kyler because of, if we pretty much saw a lot of floor of him last year, especially with some of the running attempts and all that too. So I'm really curious what his ceiling outcomes could be this upcoming year. And yeah, it's been a bit of a stretch. And yeah, it's like, all right, I'm going on a Hail Mary. But at the same time, I do think that with Murray, like in this format, like volume is king. And getting a guy like that could still be that scrambler, like you're taking a risk, but I'm okay with taking a risk at Kyler because I still think he has some things that we haven't seen yet in his career in terms of him throwing the football. And I just want to capitalize on that. So, it is what it is. I could be wrong, just like last year, but hey, I'm okay. I'm okay being wrong.
Hey man, fantasy football is damn near like being a professional baseball player, man. If you go 300, man, you're in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and then Mike Evans out there, man. That's you can't ever go wrong with him, man. Like I think he's the man when you look at wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. I think we all know what it is, man. He's going to give you some blow up weeks. He's going to give you some weeks that like don't really exist. But I think one of the things with fantasy managers, bro, is when the money's on the table, Mike Evans is a guy that has come through clutch for fantasy managers for sure. So I do like that. You got two guys. You got two guys at running back that I think definitely right place, right time. Swift, I think, has a clearer path. For me, I still believe in Isaiah Pacheco. The room is a little bit muddled for sure, but I think there is a path where he can maybe get out of that room with between the receiving game as well. Maybe he can get out of that room with close to 200 touches, and if he gets out of that room with 200 touches, the Kansas City Chiefs offense that still got a few questions about the offensive line. I could see a space, especially at running back 3, but your running back room definitely has a lot of questions. But if everything goes right, you could be good. Debo, I think we talked about him last week.
Yep.
A little bit, just not really being sure what we're getting with him. He's on the wrong side of as far as age goes. I think there's one season in particular that really sticks in our mind, and that's when I labeled him my favorite non-Steeler football player. Was that season when he was playing tailback, playing tight end, returning punts, kicks, wide receiver, you name it, Debo was doing it. And I think we haven't seen that, and my fear is that we might not see that version of Debo making those type of big plays, maybe moving the sticks. I could dig that for sure. I think Mark Andrews is a guy that that's an incredible value for me for him there. Mark Andrews does not suck. Just want to throw that out there in the universe. Want to throw that out there in the universe. He does not suck. He started off a little bit slow. He dropped the game winner.
He got into a car accident before the season, yo.
Yeah, I don't like the Ravens at all. I'll just go ahead and put that disclaimer.
I know you don't.
Well. But no, just in case somebody's confused.
A car accident before the season started last year. How else you thought he was going to start out?
Yeah, and then Khalil Shakir, man, he's one of my favorite. I like him a lot. I just worry about what's going to happen now with
in Buffalo.
With Josh Palmer being there now as well. Yeah. And it seems like their offense now is more about we and less about me. And the me is Josh Allen, and the we is whoever is playing wide receiver or tight end for the Bills. And then Steph Diggs, I think that's a pretty good value. I know some people are kind of lukewarm on him, but I
am too. But I believe value.
Yeah, and I believe it's going to work in New England, man. I truly do. I think with Josh McDaniels there, and I think with everything that they've put in place now, upgrading the offensive line, bringing McDaniels in. Obviously, they still have Hunter Henry. They still have him there. Ramondre Stevenson is still a back that in this format and even in real life, he's still going to get carries. So I think he's going to be a really great value as a flex play sidebar. And then Jake Ferguson is I wouldn't say a nice candidate for bounce back, but because my boy George Pickens is there in Dallas, but Ferguson is somebody that, at the tight end spot, you can do a lot worse than him, man. So I seen what you were trying to do, trying to get unique to see what would happen for your roster. And I think the top half of it, I really like. And I think the bottom half probably to no surprise to you. A few more questions and answers, but I will definitely give you Mark Andrews as the highlight of the bottom half of that draft for you, man.
That's fair. Going back to Debo, I just think him getting into the Washington offense, more RPO based and whatnot too. I think he just plays more to his strengths that, not to say the Niners didn't utilize consistently. I think I'm just willing to take a shot on the upside at that area, because in that area and realm, if Jennings would have fell to me, I would have probably taken him. Yeah. Maybe if Godwin would have fell there, Flowers maybe, I would have probably taken him over Debo. I just think that though it's we talked about before. Debo has been the Swiss Army knife before and whatnot, but he's been a yards after the catch type of guy. I think with the offense he's entering, I think they're going to look to utilize him to his strengths, and where he can do that still. So I do think that we're still going to. I agree with you. There's some there's some hesitancy on Debo, but I also I want to cash in on that because I think where he's going makes a ton of sense for the swing of the upside. The same thing with Diggs. Like there's like Diggs going in the double-digit round. If you said that 2 years ago, you'd be like, what? Stephon Diggs going where?
Man,
I know it's 2 years ago. I know it's one injury after.
Fantasy wise, bro. Fantasy wise, I've been a Steph Diggs guy for forever, man. Like been a Steph Diggs guy for forever. As far as fantasy goes, he was one of my.
And he's looking this good already after it was a clean tear ACL too.
Yeah, so, yeah. I believe in him, man. I still believe in.
You know what I'm saying? Bro. Like you just got to. I think if I were to change a little bit different, I probably wouldn't go Kyler at the 4.9, knowing how quarterbacks shook out. Because I might find like I said, that's this where it's like you don't know QB wise where things are going to go. Because if it's not Kyler or Fields for me, I don't mind waiting after that tier. I don't mind waiting for that. And still getting up on my other positions. So that's the only thing I'll probably say that would be like, all right, for Kyler, not advertising that it's a regret pick. It's more about for construction purposes and where you can get, sometimes you don't know how things are going to shake out. Like I probably would have grabbed Kyler. I'd probably let him wait to see how other people react because there were already certain quarterbacks off the board by the time I picked there anyway.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But I will say though that it's a solid roster. Like I said, it was some, it's a risky roster.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a risky roster, but I'm okay with that because I think there are some players that I know that I'm pretty high on and that's going to range very room by room. But I did, like you said, I did want to try something different.
That's
Because I didn't do QB at all, first 2 rounds in any of these mocks. And I was like, well, Hurts is there at 1.9. Probably shouldn't be there. Okay. And then AJ Brown was there. Okay.
Yeah. Like I think that makes sense, right? Like that makes sense. If you go quarterback early, right, and you're able to get a stack in some capacity, like I'm cool with that. I
even thought about taking Goddard over Ferguson. Like that
last round, but I mean in this but I think we all know, right? In this format, like you got to find a way to get different. And that's the thing, man, is like you got to find a way to get different. And sometimes being extremely different means your team's going to extremely suck, just like mine has the last 2 years.
The last time I was in Scott Fishbowl, your boy made it to the semifinal.
Yeah, man. Listen.
You know what I'm saying?
Luck's got it. Listen,
that was with an Anthony Richardson roster.
No, Luck's got to. Luck's got to shake my way at some point in time, bro. Because I'm telling you, listen, I'll say it again. Jonathan Taylor, Justin Herbert, 2 years ago, they all died on the field. Not Evan Ingram, but homeboy that's rapping that used to play tight end, Darren Waller. He died out there. Yeah. He went first year with the Giants. He died. I heard that name in a while. Yeah, but what the one thing you can always bank on me to do in a Scott Fishbowl, and I will give myself credit for this, is you can always bank on me to clean up in the second half of the draft, but the first half of my draft always sucks. It always sucks. But the back end, I clean up, man. So
that's funny. That's funny, yo. That's funny. What I tell you in Ohio last year when we did our draft night out after our first couple of picks, I was like, yo, watch me clean up, John.
You keep saying that, man, but at the end of the day, you lost to the same guy I did a round before. I had a better regular season record. You had a good team. I'll give you that, man. I'll give you that. But just don't try to little bro my team, though.
I didn't. I was just saying. No, I was just saying because I was like, man, I was looking at other people's rosters, like, dang, I gotta clean up now. I was like, I gotta. It was type of thing. It wasn't like a shot at your roster. It was more about like, yo, watch me freaking clean up on the back end here.
It was a tough room. It was.
JSN was my pick there. Yeah,
I still will say, even to this day, man, that was the toughest draft I did all year last year. Was draft night out, without question. And I knew it was a tough draft when I started drafting a quarterback in the third round. I was like, oh my God, I've never drafted a quarterback in the third round before. I'm like, what am I doing? And and you talk about your team. My team was that bad with Tyreek Hill. With Tyreek Hill as my number 2 overall pick.
Yikes.
So, That well, number 2 or number 3, but either way, man, we'll get a shot at it again this year, man. And I'm looking forward to that as well. We're about a month away now from Scott Fish Bowl now, so but I'm looking forward to draft night out, man, for sure. Looking forward to the expo. And for everybody still watching, man, like if you haven't donated to Fantasy Cares, man, make sure you donate for sure. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff still going on, man, for sure. Get my kids and my wife. We all get dripped out of Scott Fish Bowl gear every year, man. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do that. But definitely looking forward to it, man. For sure. And the next couple of weeks, man, we'll just be talking about regular ADP stuff. Maybe I'm surprised we didn't get more traction with this here, man, because like we were talking about, like a lot of these drafts, like they just got started. Cincinnati, Vegas, North Cal. And I think there was one more that was happening. So obviously they got to be getting rolling up again next week as well. So yeah, man, that's all I got, bro.
Well, that's your old man rant for the night.
Yeah, that's my old man rant for the night, man. That's my old man rant for the night for sure. I'm gonna hit the beach tomorrow, man. 100 degrees. So
gonna be a beach bum. Oh, okay.
Yeah, going to be a beach bum tomorrow, man. So once I get off of here, I'm gonna go help Mrs. Maine get packed up for the beach. So
word.
Yeah.
I hear that. Well, gonna be enjoying the hot weather sun tomorrow. Almost 100 degrees probably.
Yes,
we'll see.
I know it's about time to get out of the hot box, man. My studio in here, man. In the summertime it's hot, in the wintertime it's cold.
Oh my gosh, yo! I'm sure you'd rather be doing some cold right now.
Yeah, I'm about to hit that AC right when we go offline.
Well, I ain't gonna hold you. We appreciate everybody coming out to the show tonight. Really appreciate that. If you aren't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. Appreciate everybody coming out again. The support is awesome. We appreciate our community, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week. We'll have some certain dilemmas that we're going to be talking about next week when it comes to certain players and certain positions and drafts currently. Me and John got you guys covered. So until next week, we out. Peace.